The pain experience is driven by a myriad of factors and is unique to every individual. Some things that influence that experience are how well regulated our nervous system is, how long we've been in pain, how we've been conditioned to think about pain and what it is, what we logically understand about our pain, and a handful of other factors. From a more easily understood frame of mind, pain often occurs in our body when a structure, whether it be a muscle, bone, tendon, ligament, joint, nerve, whatever, when it's irritated, potentially damaged, or actually damaged. And when this occurs, we can begin to potentially feel painful sensations. If we make pain synonymous to injury in this example, we can explain it formulaically. Injury occurs when load exceeds tissue tolerance. And we can improve the injury by either managing the load or improving the tissue tolerance, or both. If injury only occurs when load exceeds tissue tolerance, in order to fix the pain, we need to understand why certain areas in our body are being overloaded. This then leads us to the next point that we must understand before moving forward, and it's that humans are just meat wagons, or more like a pressurized tube of fluids and tissues. We exist upright against gravity based on the muscle tone that is created from your brain and how that brain senses the external environment, the sensations you are not cognitively aware of. Remember that we exist within the constraints of gravity and that muscle tone is constantly being created. If it weren't, we would just crumble to the ground. But our tissues can also get stiff and we can get stuck and patterned in certain positions that we spend a lot of time in. As we continue to spend time in positions that, let's say, feel the most comfortable for us, whatever it might be, this is synonymous to your brain's preferred movement patterns because it's the easiest and most energy efficient. And then we get stuck in those positions. Other movement patterns become less efficient, more difficult, and movement options then become limited. When movement options become limited, but the tasks in front of us still require those movement options, we'll find ways to compensate to accomplish those tasks. For example, if I sit all day and the tissues on the front of my hips get adaptively shorter, now this begins to restrict my ability to extend my hips. And now I want to start a running program. But now I've lost some movement options into hip extension. Now my brain will still find a way for me to accomplish my desired task of running, but it'll now have to occur, let's say, through my low back. And now every time I push off a leg, instead of my thigh getting behind me, I'm extending through that low back. And because my low back wasn't adapted to propel me forward in space that way, those tissues become overloaded and we begin to experience pain because load has now exceeded the tolerance of those tissues. So when our movement options become limited, we become stuck in our postural patterns. Our brains find different ways to help us accomplish our desired tasks. And these altered biomechanics can put undue stress on tissues and potentially cause pain. So the solution? Adaptation. We need to provide active input into our tissues and for our brain through exercise and movement. Remember, patterning occurs even in sitting or sedentary positions. Simply sitting and existing against gravity is an active activity. There's nothing passive about it. So adaptation is constantly occurring. If your rehab program is full of stretching, foam rolling, it's missing the point. We need to adapt our tissues through active interventions, reverse our patterns, restore our movement options. Then we need to keep moving to maintain those movement options so that we never lose them. This is the only way to fix the root cause of your pain for long-term relief. You can either create the appropriate adaptations in your body systematically, then continue moving and challenging your body often for the rest of your life. Or you can go and see a massage therapist once a week for the rest of your life while you slowly continue to allow gravity to deteriorate you. The choice is always yours, and we always recommend the former. Adapt and conquer, my friends, or gravity will adapt you for you.